Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Are you feeling charitable? Then smash the subscribe button and the like button, and please do follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Man, and welcome to Tuesday's edition of the dceu Daily. And we need to talk about that video from Subjective Reviews. Let me be absolutely clear here. Subs has been very, very supportive to me. He's been a friend to me. I did a live stream with him, right, on the Louis Centeno show a few weeks back. He was very encouraging, even though I was crap on that stream. And the feedback coming from me was terrible, but he was really supportive towards me. Subs is one of the good guys. I like Subs, and I class him as a friend. Now, if Subs had come to me and said to me, Mick, I'm thinking of doing this video about the Nerd Queens and Wonder Meg's Justice Con. What do you think? I would have said to him, Subs, why are you doing this? Are you genuinely disappointed, or are you just doing this for traction? Are you doing this to get a lot of followers and to get people talking about you, whether it's positive or negative? Let me give you an example. There's people like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers or Jodie's Corner, where they love the controversy, so they do controversial topics all the time. Now, Subs has never done a controversial video in his life. So I would say, Subs, can you handle what's going to come at you? Because coming from someone who's been cancelled by cancel culture just a few weeks ago after I clashed with Wonder Meg, right? You think you can handle it, but it's really, really hard when they come at you. Now, there's some of us that can handle that kind of thing, and I don't know if Subs can handle that kind of thing. I don't know him that well, but I do class him as an online friend. So what we're going to do here, we're going to take a listen to this video, and we're going to be constructive. We're going to be constructive about the video. When you do a video like this, you're either one of those people who considers the people's feelings you're talking about, or you're not. Now, clearly Subs was more focused from his own ideology and his own point of view than about how the girls would have felt about this. But that's something you have to consider when you're going to do a hot take video like this. So the title of the video actually is Justice Con was not what it was hyped up to be. My first disagreement would be, actually, it's exactly how I thought it was going to be. You know, these the Nerd Queens are an independent YouTube channel. They don't have a budget. You know, when you go to San Diego Comic-Con, that's invested by big studios and big companies. That's why it's so, so hardcore. That's why it's so professional, because it can afford to be. If you've ever seen their videos before, that is how they are. They're just being themselves, right? And to be honest with you, for what it was, the content was pretty good. Jay Oliver, Zack Snyder, Deb Snyder, right? Ray Fisher, Chris Wong Svensson, right? These were good, solid things. It was never going to be anything more than what it was. But anyway, let's take a listen to this video.
Positive guy, especially when it comes to DC, Zack Snyder's Justice League, all that great stuff. You guys watch my videos, you know how I am. But I'm not holding my tongue on this one, because this past weekend was absolute bullshit. Justice Con was a waste of goddamn time, and I'll tell you why. First and foremost, when this thing started, it was a cool idea. It was like, oh, Justice Con, for us, for the hardcore DC Snyder fans, this is awesome. This is an awesome idea. I like it. Shortly after that, I'm not sure if it was before or after, but then this thing called DC Fandom came out. And then you're reading more and more about the DC Fandom and how it's literally going to have everything DC, and it's going to have Zack Snyder's.
Now, Subs is comparing a convention by an independent YouTube channel to DC Fandom that is literally, invested by Warner Brothers and DC Comics, a multi-trillion-dollar conglomerate. Obviously, there's going to be so much there. Comics, TV shows, movies, news. You can't expect the girls to be able to compete with that, Subs. I'm sorry.
Justice League. It's going to have all that great stuff. Yes, going into this weekend, I didn't really expect anything major to happen. Yes, we expected an awesome clip from Zach, and I'll get into that in a second. I will say positives, first and foremost, positives, Ray Fisher, his words of wisdom, they were great. The panel with Ray Porter, that was great. Again, I'm recording this early Sunday morning, so there's still more panels to go. But for the most part, you didn't really miss much. Now, the spotlight was on Zack Snyder. Okay, let me tell you this. They kept on saying the Nerd Queens and Meg, I'll get into them in a second. Everyone kept on saying that he's going to break the internet. He's going to break the internet. Okay, so Zach gives us this.
Right, again, subs, you're talking about what the fans are saying, that this is going to break the internet. This is going to break the internet. Now, let me be clear here about subs. He does get very hyped up, and he is very naive about what he hears on kind of the train, if you like, the gossip, right? So maybe he was hyped up by other fans what we were going to get. But let's be clear here. Zack Snyder was never going to be allowed to show a big, awesome, ready-to-air, a big clip we'd never seen before from Zack Snyder's Justice League. But Zack's a people pleaser. He would have been desperate to show, a trailer on Justice Con, right? To lift the fandom up, to lift the Nerd Queen's YouTube channel up, of course. And I'm sure he begged and he begged. He's that kind of guy. He's for the fans. He's for the people. So he did the best that he could. So he gave us something, yes, that we've already seen, but with a little bit of difference, right? So it did get people talking, at the very least.
Clip that we've seen before, okay? Very underwhelming. Oh, it's Black Superman. Yes, that's cool. But we've seen it before. If you own the Justice League DVD, you've seen that clip. Except now his suit is black. Yes, we know that's going to happen. That was cool. But at the same time, I felt like that was a compromised scene, which Zach said that his movie's not going to be compromised. Listen, I was watching that with a couple of my YouTube buddies, and we were not happy with that. None of us. No one was like, wow, that was awesome. That was awesome. As far as the announcement goes, the T-shirt, I knew the announcement was not. A lot of people were thinking Ben Affleck is going to come back and it was going to be something major. I did not think anything major.
Yeah, again, there was, again, DC and Warner Brothers and Warner Media weren't going to allow some exclusive announcement to be made on a convention on an independent YouTube channel. That was never going to happen. I never expected anything but what we got. To be honest, it was always sold. This is the thing. I don't think it was overhyped up. We knew it. The fans were overhyping it, of course. But the point was, this was a little fan convention with, a variety of panels. It was never going to be anything else. And I think for what it was very, very good.
It was going to happen. I thought it was going to be a small announcement. So the whole T-shirt thing was cool. Looking forward to buying that. I believe they said, was it August 22nd, DC Fandom time or something like that? You can buy it. Cool looking shirt. I think it has the Roman numerals 2016, 2021 on it. And on the back it says executive producer or associate executive producer, something like that. It's a cool shirt. I'm going to buy it. I own a bunch of them, wearing one right now. The main thing that pisses me off about this whole Justice Con was the Nerd Queens and Meg. Because you want to talk about clout chasing, which a lot of people have been talking, like that's the big word now. That is the big thing. Clout. Everyone's talking about it. The fact that you were involved in every goddamn stream is annoying. Why did you have to be there in every stream? And you look bored as hell. You look like you're not interested. Now I understand, yeah, you're doing this all day. You should have let other people come in. Why did you have to do every single...
Right, I need to be clear about this. Personally, it's not a big deal. I was surprised that the girls were on every panel. But then, before you switch off, like they say on TikTok, don't swipe up. But when I thought about it again, I thought, if I was doing this, if Big Mouth, my YouTube channel, was doing this, would I want to be on the same panel as Zack Snyder and Jay Oliver and Chris Wong-Svensson and Ray Porter and Deb Snyder, a woman, well, as women go, this is one of my biggest heroes of all time. She's amazing, right? I would want to be there. I would want to be on every panel. Now, Subs talks about clout chasing. You're never going to meet anyone more vain than me. I've got a YouTube channel. I've got an Instagram account. I've got every social media account you can think of because I want this face to be known and this voice to be heard. So, yes, everyone wants clout subs. There's nothing wrong with that. You want clout. That's why you've got your YouTube channel. That's why I've got a YouTube channel. Again, I'm not being rude to you. I'm just being constructive in my criticism because I'm not going to be one of these arse hats. It's going to cancel you just because you've done a video about this. I think if you're genuinely upset, maybe if you're genuinely upset, you could have maybe spoken to the girls about it. I don't think you would have got a good reaction, by the way, because when you're involved in something and someone's saying to you, I didn't like what you did, you're not going to get a good reaction. Again, it depends why he did this video. But in terms of this, and we'll discuss it a bit more as we go forward in the video.
Panel, because you wanted your face in front of thousands and thousands of fans, so they will not forget. And, I mean, hell...
Yes, exactly what I was talking about. I would have done the same thing. Now, as I said, I was a little bit surprised they were on every panel, but it's something I would have done myself. Again, not really a big deal. In terms of the girls looking disinterested in board, they're not disinterested in board. That is the way they are. That's how they are. They're not bored or disinterested. That's how they do their stuff. That's their style. And, the people who love them love that kind of thing. Now, I'm not a diehard Nerd Queens fan, obviously, and I don't know them so well. But at the end of the day, I do know that that's their style. Again, maybe a little bit harsh there, subs.
Your channel, the Justice Con channel, went from, 1,000 subscribers to, I think right now it's at 24,000. So you got your wish. So now I just want to see what you're going to do with all that fame now. And again, people have been saying that that's what you were chasing, and this just proves it. And again, during these panels, you looked bored out of your minds. You weren't asking good questions. I was just like, why is this happening? You could have easily had more fans involved. You could have brought on a couple people to be on the panel with Zach or whatever, with Ray Porter, Ray Fisher.
In terms of questions, right, listen to me. In terms of questions, in fact, he goes into the questions, what kind of questions he would have liked to have been asked. But the girls would have had to have respected Zach's and Jay Oliver's and all these people they had on there, which is one of the reasons for them to be on there, is to control what's going on because it's their YouTube channel. Zach would have said to the girls, I don't want to answer this. I don't want to answer that. And Zach will answer any fan question, but he is now part of this big world order that is DC and Warner Media. They would have said, listen, Zach, it's great that you're supporting something for this charity. We want you to do it, and it hypes up what we're going to put on our streaming platform, of course, but you can't answer this and you can't answer that. And I'll tell you why, Zach, because we want DC fandom to answer these questions. So there's certain things you can't talk about and can't answer. So the Nerd Queens would have been under a strict kind of don't ask me this and don't ask me that. So, and I think that's pretty obvious.
So they can meet them. How cool would that be? Or let other people in your group interview them or talk with them, not just you three. It was all about you three because you want everyone to know that you created JusticeCon and that was your idea. Well, guess what? We're all looking to DC fandom. I've been looking forward to DC fandom since it was announced. And again, I'm not trying to be an asshole here, but when it came to JusticeCon, I was like, yeah, that would be cool, but it's not going to be DC fandom. And whatever happened this year, hopefully if you do it again next year, you learn from your mistakes and you have other people involved and you're more enthusiastic. Because honestly, the best part about this past weekend were the live streams that Nicotina set up. That was the best part, and I was a part of that. I was excited to be a part of that. And we had a great time. We had energy. We had enthusiasm. We were excited. That was not brought to the table by any of you three. It was...
One of the things I like to do on this channel is bring enthusiasm. I like to get excited with my intro. I like to excite people. That's my style. But then what you've got to remember is I have a media background and I went to drama school and I've done acting and things like that. These girls are just ordinary, everyday girls. It is what it says on the tin. The Nerd Queens, that's what they are. They're fans. And you can't make them be something that they're not. They set something up for charity, a great thing subs, and it was never going to be something so professional and overhyped. It was going to be the Nerd Queens being the Nerd Queens. So, and I think this is the issue maybe where people are a little bit upset with you. But again, this is your opinion. You have every right to state your opinion, but then we have to think about the people that you're talking about as well.
And questions were being asked, and you were just kind of stop asking those questions. Stop it. We want to know these things from Zach. We want to know about Green Lantern. Oh, Zach doesn't want to hear that. Leave us alone. That clip was amazing.
That's the point. That's the point I got to before. Zach would have told them what they can and can't ask. There's no way Zack Snyder is going to answer a Green Lantern question on, this Justice Con that's on this independent YouTube channel. If that's going to be answered, that is going to be answered at DC Fandom. The real deal. The main thing. This was a fan convention by the fans for the fans. A small thing. It was always going to be a small thing. And there's certain things Zach just wasn't willing to answer because the studio would not allow it.
No, it wasn't. It was not. This weekend sucked. I'm sorry. I had to be the one to say it, but I know a bunch of people are feeling it. Everyone wants to be positive. Yes, I want to be positive too. But this past weekend, sucked. Again, there were positives that came out of it. Ray Fisher, Ray Porter, Zach talking. We learned that it looks like on August 22nd for DC Fandom, we're probably going to get a release date. We're going to find out if this is a movie or a series, and we're going to get more footage. That's exciting. Hopefully it's not footage that we've seen before, because that would be annoying. And of course, listening to Zach just trash what Whedon did with the movie, how he would never watch that, and he would, it was just dumpster fire, and that was great. Zach was kind of unleashed, unhinged. I can kind of be a little mad at Zach for giving us that clip, but a lot of people were saying he's trolling, and from what I heard, he was supposed to show us a lot more, and that's why I highly believe that all of this is being saved.
He was never going to show us a lot more. He wasn't allowed to show us a lot more. And again, you shouldn't be mad at Zach at all, subs, and I'll tell you for why. Because Zach would have showed us what he could. He wasn't allowed to show us anything new. So he took this. Now, I don't know if Superman's really in a black suit in that sequence, or if it's actually really the red and... I don't know what's going on there. I was surprised by that scene. I was surprised he was wearing black. It's like, it created conversation. It's all the man could have showed us. He tried his best to do something. And I think he did. I mean, it does create talking points. But at the end of the day, if he could have showed us more, he would have.
For DC Fandom, they want DC, Warner Brothers, HBO Max, they want DC Fandom to literally be bananas. This event is going to be huge. They want it to be their Comic-Con. That's what they're doing. That's what they're giving us. So maybe Zach had more stuff planned. But again, my anger isn't towards Zach. Yes, the clip sucked, but my anger is not towards Zach. It's literally the Nerd Queens and Meg, because I felt like you guys were not interesting. You call me whatever you want. You were boring. You weren't asking good questions. You were cutting them off. You were segueing way too much when they were actually giving us good information. I just thought that was annoying. And, of course, you had to be a part of every goddamn panel. Who does that? Saturday and Sunday. From start to finish. Every panel. Every panel. Like, why? Why did your face have to be there? I do not understand. But anyway, guys, I'm done ranting. Again, I thought this weekend was bullshit. Looking forward to DC Fandom, though. And speaking of DC Fandom, is I'm doing a live stream event where I'm going to have...
So I'm going to give you my final opinion of this. I like subs. I do. And my opinion of the lad hasn't changed because he's done this video. You don't reject friends just because they've done something and maybe gone and done something that maybe you don't agree with totally. And I don't. I don't agree with what he's saying mainly in the video because I think this was a little thing done by an independent YouTube channel. And I don't think anyone was surprised in the kind of thing that it was. But for what it was really good. Now, you've got to understand the Nerd Queens have a certain style. And it's, it is that kind of style where it's not hello there like me. It's a lot of, it's very calm and collected. That's the way they are and that's the way they worked. They got the opportunity. It's It's good for them. But this is the problem. I've said this so many times in this fandom. This fandom is full of ordinary working class people who have never been in a situation of attention, media, celebrity, and they see a few people becoming very, very successful from the release the Snyder Cut campaign. Snyder Cut campaign. Did I say cat? Release the Snyder Cut campaign, right? So all of a sudden there's a bit of jealousy, there's a bit of envy, because some of us are just carrying on being ordinary and not very successful, and then we see the others, getting the clout that everyone's talking about. Be happy for them. Be happy for them, because it's not going to last forever. Let them, be close to Zach, get their success on YouTube. It doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, if you're good enough, subs, that will come to you too. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Of course they want people watching them. They're only human. Everybody wants that, subs, at the end of the day. Now, what do I think? Did Subs do this video because he naively thought that JusticeCon was going to be DC Fandom? Or how angry is he? Is he angry that other content creators are more successful than him? Maybe. Or was this a tactical swing from him? Now, I cut him off there because he was about to promote what him and his team were going to do, like a live video for a DC Fandom, right? So he's plugging. So he's putting down what they did, then plugging himself. Now, that's interesting. And so what I would say is, I suspect that Subs is going down the direction of a Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers doing controversial content, because that can be very successful. And if he is doing that, good luck to him. But you've got to be able to take the reaction. You can't do something like that and expect people to say, oh, well, it's just your opinion. As I say, there's a lot of ordinary working class people, ordinary people from ordinary backgrounds in this fandom. And all of a sudden, we all helped get this film released. And we all believe that we deserve a pat on the back and, and recognition. And that's not going to happen. If you want to be famous, if you want to be successful, you've got to do it yourself. These girls were one of the biggest contributors to getting the Snyder Cut released. We all know that. Whatever we think about them, that's a fact. And I think trashing them, Subs, was probably the wrong way to go, unless you're all right with trashing them and you don't mind how they feel, and you're doing this to make your channel a lot more centralized and successful. We will see what Subs does with his next video. I think that will be very, very interesting. Ultimately, this is the element of cancel culture. You put something up controversial, you have an argument with someone popular, like it happened to me, and they all start removing themselves from your little gang. It doesn't take much. You can do a million right things, and in their eyes, one wrong thing, and then you're cancelled and attacked. We're moving away from you, man. See ya. See, I'm all right with that, but some people can't handle it. As I say, I like Subs, and it's interesting, Subs, because Sean O'Connell's been talking about your video, not very flatteringly either. But just remember, Sean, you've got released the Snyder Cut book coming out next year, and if you can't take one hot take from one little YouTuber about a little con, you're not going to be able to take the hot takes about that book, because everyone's going to have opinions about it. And don't forget, Sean, there's a lot of suspicions on you still. 1 minute you were hated by everyone. You were saying it didn't exist, and all of a sudden you apologised and you're everyone's best friend, and Zach trusts you, and you've done a book, and you've had a phone interview with Ray Fisher. I'm happy for you if you're a genuine fan, right? But at the end of the day, just remember, Sean, you are a journalist, so maybe keep out of these things, and don't be so disrespectful about Subs as well, because I think at the end of the day, we all do things maybe we shouldn't. We have opinions that are not very popular, and it's going to be interesting when we read your book, what you've actually had to say about the whole, release the Snyder Cut thing. So remember, we can all be elites and everyone can love us, but all we have to do is say one wrong thing and then you're nothing. Remember that, Sean. Anyway, on a more positive beat, So I really enjoyed seeing Deb Snyder on Justice Con, and she said some interesting things. Apparently, in Zack Snyder's Justice League, there's a scene we haven't seen between Lois Lane and Diana, aka Wonder Woman. Do you know what I said after BVS? These two ladies should be in more scenes together. You could see at the end of BVS she felt Lois's pain because we didn't know, but at that time, that Steve Trevor was going to sacrifice himself and allegedly die, right? And you could see the look in Gal's face as she was performing it, that she thought, yeah, I've been here. I know how you feel, Lois. So I'm interested in seeing that scene. Now, Deb said something else very, very curious. She said there's another movie, and I don't know if she said DC movie, but another movie that her and Zack are producing with another director. Now, it could be a DC movie. Did she say DC movie? I can't remember. Someone can correct me in the comments down below. Could this be Ben Affleck's The Batman straight-to-streaming TV series, or are we doing a subs again and kind of getting ourselves overhyped and we're going to be disappointed afterwards? Don't forget, Wonder Woman 84 is produced by Zack and Deb. Now, I'm not sure. I think the Flash movie will as well. I think all the movies are going to keep on being produced by them. So it's interesting if this is a new movie. But what do you think? So all in all, my final word on subs and Justice Con is it was what it said on the tin. You shouldn't be disappointed. You shouldn't be disappointed by that scene that we saw. And you shouldn't be frustrated with Zack. You should say, thank you, Zack. At least you tried. You tried to show us something. We become spoilt children. Is this what's going to happen when we see the Snyder Cut? Oh, it wasn't what Zack said it was going to be, right? And I hope we don't get that, right? And he also spoke about the scene being compromised. Listen, I'm not an expert on this film. I haven't heard everything that Zack said. Now, did Zack say that was a compromised scene? It's his scene. I don't know. Listen, all we can do is wait. First of all, the first thing we're going to be able to judge properly is a full-length, hopefully 3-minute trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Then we'll talk some more. We are going to analyse the living crap out of that, and I can't wait. So my advice to the fandom, leave subs alone. Don't be mean to him. If he was your friend yesterday, he should still be your friend today. But he should be able to listen to your constructive criticism. You know, at the end of the day, he wanted to do a video about the Nerd Queens. He's put it out there. There's no going back now. They would have been hurt by that, right? Everyone's hurt about what each other said. So let's be careful with each other's feelings. And let's put people's feelings first before YouTube views. But I still love your subs, and I still see you, qualify you as an online friend. So keep well. Comment down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with even more DCEU Daily. See you again soon.